Arcane Apotheosis. Whoa, that's a cool name. Your innate sorcery feature is taken to new heights. Well, this is the only height.
Yeah.
So
the last height.
This is
the peak.
As some would say.
Yeah.
We literally cannot go higher.
Where'd you get that?
Hey guys, we're gonna read some more new D&D stuff today. Spencer's here. She really wanted to be here.
I walked into your office and you said, be in my video.
Yep. When I made the Ranger video, I was ranting to Spencer about it. And she had a lot of really funny thoughts and opinions. And I thought it would be valuable to have you here, even though you hate Dungeons and Dragons.
I do. I like playing the game. I don't like talking about the rules.
Okay, you're being kind of a normie right now. I need you to stop.
Okay.
Not only do I have a timer to keep myself in line today so I don't have a 2-hour VOD, but also I've got Spencer here to keep the thoughts on track.
Yeah. Once I start to get bored of a class, we'll leave.
Yeah. But first, before we get into that, though, we got to give a big shout out to this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Opera. With tab islands and workspaces, this browser is a huge upgrade. Opera organizes everything I need when I use it. Tab islands are such a great way to organize tasks without forgetting where everything is. When I'm preparing the next game in my campaign, I can keep my D&D links here, my wiki links here, any dice calculators here, and then my notes here. Then expand and collapse them to save space. Also workspaces. If you've got even more groups of tabs, switching your workspace allows you to keep everything together while you focus on something else. Sometimes I want to take a break, but I don't want to clutter up what I'm working on, so I'll have a separate space for my new research. That way I can stay on task without losing everything. If you're worried about your bookmarks or saved data from your current web browser, Opera will port over everything easily and quickly. Plus, there's tons of extensions, so you can customize Opera however you like. When it comes to my work and how I browse the internet, I need efficiency and speed. Opera nails both of these, and I can't recommend it more. Hit that link down below to download Opera, make your internet browsing a better experience. It's quick, free, and easy.
I'll open it.
Oh yeah, we're using Opera. Wow. We're using Opera right now. So we're gonna look at Wizard.
I love Wizards.
You've played
My favorite
Wizards?
class.
Yeah.
They did hurt my second favorite class.
What's your
quite a bit.
second
Paladin.
favorite class?
Paladin.
Yeah, I guess they did. Wait, is Wizard your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Paladin was your favorite.
I think it alternates.
All right, so 2024 Wizard class features overview. This art is so cool. This is just really neat looking.
Can I say that it's...
Level 1, the Wizard spellcasting feature hasn't seen a huge number of changes, but has certainly received some quality of life improvements. The most immediate difference you'll notice is that Wizards no longer use their intelligence modifier plus Wizard level to determine their number of prepared spells. I thought that's where it was going to end. I thought it was just, they no longer use their intelligence.
Is this your wizard level?
You no longer add your intelligence modifier level to determine their number of prepared spells, instead referred to a fixed value listed in the wizard table. I think that's good. I think that's a good change, because what it's doing at early levels is it's removing the need to have a 20 intelligence. If you start with an 18, it's not that it feels bad. You're like, and now I get less spells. It's like, now every wizard is going to have the same amount of spells.
It also helps if you multi-class. You don't...
Exactly. That's a good change. See, Spencer, you're not just a pretty face. You know, you're pretty smart too.
Get out of here.
Pulling a page from Igwil's spellbook, the cantrip formula's optional class feature from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is now a core spell casting feature.
You didn't open Tasha's.
Oh, of course. We need our important guide for the 2024 classes, which is Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
A book that I already own.
I like this reference, though. Igwil's spellbook, she wrote the Demonomicon. I don't remember everything about every book that's ever come out.
You clicked the wrong tab. It's a source book, not an adventure.
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Cantrip formulas is you have scribed a set of arcane formulas in your spellbook that you can use to formulate a cantrip in your mind. Whenever you finish a long rest and consult those formulas in your spellbook, you can replace one wizard cantrip you know with another cantrip from the wizard spell list. That's cool. Great. Yeah. It's in Tasha's, but it's good. It's a good ability. It's great. It also makes sense that you would put cantrips in your spellbook. Also, spellbooks have received a bit of love with more defined properties. The ability to be used as a spellcasting focus and are now impossible to read by anyone but you without the use of Identify. That's interesting. So if you get another wizard spell book and you want to get their spells, you have to cast Identify on it.
Identifies first level, right?
Yeah, Ritual Caster is no longer included in the spellcasting feature. Instead, spells with a ritual tag can be used as a ritual so long as they're prepared. So, when I recorded the Ranger video, I figured out what this means. So basically, Ritual Adept at level 1. The 2024 wizard gets special treatment in the ritual department as seen in the other level 1 feature Ritual Adept. As long as a spell with the ritual tag is in your spellbook and you read the spell from your spellbook, you can cast it as a ritual without needing to prepare it. So, it is no different from the 2014 Player's Handbook. That is still the same thing. Ritual Adept is no longer like a feature of wizard spellcasting. Instead, it's a level 1 ability. It is literally no different. They just reorganized the information.
Okay.
Scholar, level 2. The 2024 wizard has become much more multidisciplinary. Thank you. I'm glad to have some brains in the room. And gain expertise in one of the following skills that they're proficient in: Arcana, History, Investigation, Medicine, Nature, or Religion. That's pretty cool. You can get expertise.
Nice.
It makes sense for a wizard to have expertise. Just be a big nerd in like one skill. I love that. This art's really cool. This dude's got like an eye patch. Kind of looks like Big Boss, the Big Boss wizard.
Is everyone with an eye patch Big Boss?
Everybody with an eye patch is from Metal Gear Solid. Wizards now pick their subclass at level 3.
Should be level 1.
But an extra level of study has paid off. Their Savant features now allow them access to 2 free level 1 or level 2 spells of their associated school, rather than a reduction of cost and time when copying new spells. Additionally, thanks to the new Savant feature, they get to add a spell from their chosen school to their spellbook each time they unlock a new level of spell slot in the wizard class. So they get access to level 1 and 2 spells of that type of magic, and they get to add a spell.
Are they adding more divination spells? That sucks.
Yeah, hopefully they've added more divination spells because there just isn't a lot of divination spells.
Yeah, especially if you're only able to get 2 free level 1 or level 2 spells.
Yeah, and also we only have 4 subclasses, which is whack. I don't understand that. I don't know why they're not just putting all of the schools of magic in the new set. And especially because if we're going to change the rules on how the subclass works, how is this supposed to fit into the previous edition? Now, if you want to play one of the other subclasses for Wizard, you're going to have to like homebrew it and like apply these rules to the subclass. I don't really know. I don't get it. We have Abjurer, Diviner, Evoker, and Illusionist.
They didn't buff Necromancy?
Abjurer, formerly School of Abjuration, you'll notice that their signature Arcane Ward feature has had its language clarified, and you can refill it directly as a bonus action by expending a spell slot. Cool. At level 10, Abjurer wizards get a new feature called Spellbreaker, granting them counterspell and dispel magic as always prepared spells, the latter being able to be cast as a bonus action. Whoa, bonus action dispel magic.
That's pretty good.
But the real standout of this feature is that if you use either spell and failed, no spell slot is consumed. That's cool. That's cool. I can only think, why did we buff Necromancer? But whatever. Diviner. The Diviner subclass didn't see many changes from its previous incarnation as a school of divination, other than some refinements to the third eye. And to be fair, Divination Wizard slaps.
Yeah, it's
pretty good. The feature now explicitly uses a bonus action. That's cool. And the Dark Vision feature has increased its range to 120 feet. The See Invisibility option now allows you to cast the See Invisibility spell without using a spell slot, and the Ethereal Sight has been removed. And the Ethereal Sight was cool.
Yeah.
You can see ghosts. That was awesome. Evoker, the most explosive wizard subclass has seen the potent cantrip and sculpt spells swap places, with the former now applying half damage on a missed spell attack as well as unsuccessful saving throws against your cantrip. Beyond this, the subclass is largely unchanged. So that's the thing, is that because they're largely unchanged, it makes me think that you can use the other subclasses in this, but I don't know. Now you're getting a level 3, and some of those level 2 abilities, I guess you now get at level 3. I'm just not sure, but I like this cantrip ability. That's pretty cool. You can like still deal damage if you miss. I love that. Illusionist, despite a multitude of improvements, thank God, Illusionist was really bad.
Yeah.
The first you'll notice is Improved Illusion, which replaces Improved Minor Illusion. This allows you to ignore verbal components for illusion spells and increase the range of certain spells. Thank God. That also makes me think they can't be counterspelled, because it's like Silent Spell for a sorcerer, or Subtle Spell.
Subtle spell.
This allows you to ignore verbal components for illusion spells and increase the range of certain spells. At level 6, Illusionists gain the Phantasmal Creatures feature, which grants Summon Beast and Summon Fae as always prepared spells. These can be cast as illusion spells, which summons a modified version of the creature, and you get a free casting of it. And also, Illusory Self can be restored by expending a level 2 plus spell slot without requiring an action. I think getting a buff to Illusion is pretty good. The Summon ability is a little weird because it kind of reminds me of Conjuration, but it is a really good way to balance the two together, to have illusion actually be something that's pretty useful and you're not just creating fake things. It's like, oh, the illusions are kind of real.
I like all these except for Diviner.
The ethereal sight being removed is weird. It's a bonus action now, so I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's just a lot of what they've been doing where they go, we're just going to take some things away and then kind of tweak it so it looks like it's better.
Memorize spell, level 5. A new level 5 feature, wizards can now swap out one prepared spell for one in their spell book whenever they take a short rest.
That's
pretty good. Yeah, pretty sick. Spell mastery, level 18. Oh, we have severely jumped.
Yeah. That's where you plug in all the other things from the previous edition. Yeah.
It seems like the biggest thing that is happening here is the fact that the spells are going to be a lot different. Having new spells will kind of change the game a lot, for wizards especially. So who knows how much this class feels differently to play, because I haven't looked at spells yet. Spell mastery, level 18. Spell mastery sees a few minor changes, starting with the limitation that the chosen spells must have a casting time of 1 action, and you can only swap out 1 spell at a time rather than both. However, the chosen spells now count as always prepared and can be swapped out on a long rest rather than requiring 8 hours of dedicated study. So originally, this is the 18th level ability that lets you pick a first or second level spell and you can always cast that spell without expending spell slots. You can also switch them out if you spend 8 hours of dedicated study. But now you can only swap out 1 and it's during a long rest, and they have to have a casting time of 1 action. So that sucks. You can't make it like Counterspell or Misty Step, I guess, for balance reasons. But okay, balance reasons at level 18. Yeah. Who cares at that point? Oh, Tiamat, I can't always cast Misty Step now. Epic Boon. Every class gets an Epic Boon at level 19, and the one they chose for Wizard is Boon of Spell Recall. Increase your Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma ability score up to 1 to a maximum of 30, and when you cast a spell using a 1 to 4 spell slot, roll 1d4. If you roll the spell's level, the slot isn't expended. I feel like this exists to counterbalance this. Okay, I'm gonna get some free Misty Steps next level.
I think I'd rather just continue to play 2014 Wizard.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's good changes in there, I think. The one where you can swap spells out, like the level 5 ability, and then the potent cantrips, which is in Tasha's.
I like playing Diviner. I don't know. We'll play test it someday, I'm sure. And we'll see how it goes. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. I would have liked to see all of the schools of magic. Yeah,
that honestly, biggest disappointment. Yeah. I really wish we had more of the other schools of magic. That sucks. Warlock! Warlock's my favorite class, so I'm very excited about this.
That little guy looks so happy.
I know, look at this. Look at this fella. I love him. He's getting down with some Archfey magic there. That's very cool. 2024 Warlock. At level 1, we got Eldritch Invocations. One of the most first notable changes to the 2024 Warlock is that you get access to your first Eldritch Invocation at Warlock level 1 instead of level 2. Because they're taking away the subclass choice and putting it at level 3, which is the stupidest thing. I'm so mad about this. I hate this so much. Especially for Warlock.
Warlock, Paladin, and Wizard should all pick their subclass at level 1.
It's literally like the point of why you do what you do. Like, Warlock gets their power because they're related to some higher being. If you don't know what that being is, it doesn't make any sense. Like, narratively, like at level 3, you're gonna pretend you were with the Fiend the whole time. Eldritch Invocations, level 1. Overall, Eldritch Invocations have received a major overhaul. Key changes including several quality of life updates. Let's look at some of the big shifts. Pact Boons are new Eldritch Invocations. I really like this. In the 2014 Warlock, your Pact Boons, such as Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Tome, and Pact of the Chain, was a separate feature bestowed at level 3. In the 2024 Warlock, Pact Boon feature is gone, and these pacts are now options you can choose as a part of your Eldritch Invocations. That's great. I love that. You can pick all 3 of them if you want to. If you want to have Pact of the Chain and Pact of the Blade, you're not locked in only having one. Now, because they're invocations, you can pick multiple. I think that's really cool. That's how Warlock should be anyways, is that you're kind of picking everything that you get anyways, and this just gives more option and freedom to the class, and I think that's great. Second, while some Eldritch Invocations do carry prerequisite levels, such as Agonizing Blast, which requires you to be a level 2 Warlock, the former Pact Boon invocations do not. This means you can select from a familiar Book of Shadows or Pact weapon as early as level 1. The 2014 Player's Handbook had these features arrive at level 3, so you're getting them 2 levels earlier for the 2024 Warlock. It's more that text that's like, it's better, guys. All right, look, it's better.
Yeah.
It is better. It's that's very cool. You get to be very customizable with Warlock at level 1. It's not a worthy trade. I would rather have the subclass at level 1 than this. This would be great at level 2 or 3. More Eldritch Invocations. Seeing as you get an invocation at level 1 and the progression has been expedited, 2024 Warlocks will have access to more invocations than their 2014 counterpart, maxing out at 10 when they hit level 18. Some Eldritch Invocations can be repeated. Popular Eldritch Invocations for Warlocks like Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast are still here, but with a couple of big changes. Firstly, they are no longer limited to Eldritch Blast. Instead, you choose one of your known Warlock cantrips that deal damage, and now you can add your Charisma modifier to that damage roll. So now you can boost damage for Toll the Dead or Thunderclap with Agonizing Blast that suits your Warlock build better than Eldritch Blast. Note, however, that Repelling Blast is restricted to cantrips that deal damage via an attack roll. Oh, you can't thunderclap and blast everybody backwards. No. This is good design intention with how they're doing these new books. They're taking what was already there and they're going, you can do more with it now. Now you can kind of really make whatever Warlock you really want to, instead of just taking everything away and making it spells. Next, you can select these invocations multiple times when adding new Eldritch Invocations. So if you're trying to build a cantrip powerhouse, you could add Agonizing Blast or Repelling Blast to multiple cantrips. But of course, you can still use it for Eldritch Blast because, let's face it, if you're a Warlock, you're probably going to want to.
That's fair.
Spell slots, who needs them? With the exception of Eldritch Smite, which deals a significant amount of damage and gives an enemy the prone condition, none of the 2024 Player's Handbook Eldritch Invocations carry the using a Warlocked spell slot description. You still have spell slots for your pact magic, but they largely no longer fuel the invocations you get from your patron. Instead, your Eldritch Invocations feel like a wholly separate power branch, unique to the Warlock class. The customization allowed via these changes to invocations makes the 2024 Warlock feel more like someone who has poured over contracts with their patron and selected the powers best suited to them. I agree, that is what it feels like. It feels like you're picking and choosing the best type of magic that fits you and the contract that you've made with your patron. I've always said that Warlock is is the magic class that cheated. So Sorcerer was born with the natural talent, Wizard studied, and then the Warlock cheated to get it. Yeah. And that's definitely playing into that. Magical Cunning. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
Kind of looks like there's an actor in Game of Thrones.
It looks like that?
Well, obviously not exactly like that, but I can't remember what their name is.
Well, Magical Cunning level 2, the Warlock's Pact Magic and spell slot progression works the same way for the 2020. What are you doing?
I'm looking up that actor.
Okay.
Continue on.
No, I don't get to continue on. We're filming.
Oh, not the president quitting. Sorry, that's rude. He needed to quit. I understand.
Thank you, Joe. Oh, yeah, it does kind of look like that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, tangent.
The Warlock's Pact Magic and spell slot progression works the same way for the 2024 Warlock as it did for 2014. You also can still recover expended spell slots at the end of a short or long rest. Thank God. That's a key feature.
That would have killed the class.
Oh, yeah. If they took that away, I would have been dumb. Yeah. I am curious. They did not go into too much detail about spellcasting, so I wonder if it's still the same or not, because from what I remember about the Unearthed Arcana, they kind of just turned Warlock into a half-caster. At the time, I was like, that's dumb, because I liked the automatically upcasted ability that they had. Mm-hmm. But after playing Strixhaven, I'm kind of like, man, I feel like everybody should just have the same amount of magic points that they can use. You still recover expended spell slots at the end of a short or long rest. Oh, well, if that's true, it has to be the smaller amount. Yeah. Magical Cunning gives you another way to recover your Warlock spell slots. However, now, once per long rest, you can use this feature to spend 1 minute on a ritual that restores half your maximum spell slots rounded up. Whoa, that's really cool. Really cool.
Rounding up in D&D?
Rounding up?
Whoa.
That would be insane. What if in the 2024 Player's Handbook, they were just like, everything rounds up now? You know how in 2014 everything rounds down?
Hell yeah.
Everything rounds up. Pepper would love that.
That's how we play in Spelljammer. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Rounds up.
The Eldritch Master feature granted at level 20 still allows you to regain all of your Pact Magic spell slots, but flavor-wise, it is now considered a more powerful version of this level 2 feature.
What does the Eldritch Master feature do exactly? Because if they're just letting you do that at level 2, why is it still a level 20 ability? Or maybe it's just one of those things where it's like the level 20 ability just kind of sucks.
Yeah, you spend a minute and you get all your spell slots back.
Wow, that's terrible.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Them adding this ability at level 2 makes that so much worse.
Yeah, but it makes level 2 awesome.
Yeah.
It makes level 2
But then at level 20, you're like,
good.
Oh, cool, I get one more spell slot.
I honestly did not expect them to buff the Warlock. Warlock was already pretty... I wouldn't say it's the strongest class, but it is dang good.
It's getting up there now.
Yeah, formidable now.
Yeah.
At level 3, your 2024 Warlock gains their subclass. While Warlocks used to get their subclass at level 1, this brings the Warlock in line with the other class options in the 2024 Player's Handbook. Yeah, the identity of the Warlock is getting in line. You're right. Yeah, the class that specifically expedites all of their magical potential and takes a shortcut through a more powerful being to be locked into a contract. Yeah. Bring them in line.
Yeah.
Which will make it easier for a party of players to manage their levels and a DM to keep track of player advancement. I got it as a DM who's DM like a bajillion games. It does not matter. I don't care. I'm not like, oh, everybody's getting their subclasses at random levels. It's so hard to keep track of. I'm sorry, I'm never not going to be upset about this.
Oh, he looks like that guy in Smiling Friends with the long nose that he has the paperclip.
Yeah. The Archfey Fiend and Great Old One patrons all received substantial overhauls, updates to their always prepared spell list, quality of life changes, and tweaks that bring them more in line with their flavor concepts. Thank God. The only one I can really think is Gulak. Gulak was bad. So let's see. The Archfey Patron subclass leans more into the Feywild nature of your patron. Misty Step is added to your prepared spell list, and many of the features of this subclass give you extra uses of the spell, along with healing bonuses and damage effects on enemies when you use it. Beguiling Defenses has also been updated to reduce damage you take and inflict damage with a reaction. Cool. Okay. Great. Celestial Patron. Celestial Resilience now also grants temporary hit points when you finish your magical cunning ritual or complete a short or long
I was just thinking of like this warlock doing a ritual and they're just like being really I'm saying so many times wizards like doing the spells, the paladins praying. They're just like walking down a runway.
Fiend Patron. Dark One's Blessing now grants you temporary hit points if someone else reduces an enemy to 0 hit points within 10 feet of you. Yeah! Instead of once per long rest, you can use Dark One's own luck a number of times equal to your charisma modifier and use Hurl Through Hell again by expending a packed magic spell slot. Let's go. I love that. That's very cool. The only thing I wish was different was that Dark One's own luck, if it did the thing that the new fighter does, where if you fail the check, you get it back and you don't use it. Humble. So that'd be my homebrew rule. Yeah. The Great One The Great 1/1 Patron.
Oh, 1/1.
Are we reading bad homebrew? What's happening right now? The Great 1/1 Patron has received the biggest changes to any of the 2024 Warlock subclasses, thank God, and now is much more heavily focused on the Lovecraftian Eldritch Horror elements of it. The features of this subclass now are heavily centered on using your patron's power to curse your enemies with hex, break their minds with psychic damage, and even unleash aberrant horrors on the battlefield. We're going to tell you none of what we changed, and you'll have to buy the book and find out.
It's giving Witch and Pathfinder.
Yes! Oh, yes, I'm so excited about that. I'm fine with these.
Yeah.
I'm fine with these subclasses. Contact Patron, level 9. The 2024 Player's Handbook is a brand new feature for Warlocks that ties directly into your role as the recipient of power from a patron. Starting at level 9, you can contact your patron directly once per long rest. You can basically cast Contact Other Plane as an always prepared spell, and you automatically succeed the intelligence check and saving throw to complete the spell. So go ahead and ask your patron if you can have cake for dinner. You deserve it. That's cool.
For a player.
For a player?
I feel like that's terrible for a DM.
So Contact Other Plane, all they can respond with is yes, no, or maybe. So I actually love this ability. I think this is great. This is basically like what we do in our games. This is basically Speak with Dead, but with your patron, and it's in the game. Yeah.
Should I have cake for dinner?
Should I have cake for dinner? And your Levistus is like, I don't know.
Ask again later.
He's like, yes.
Describe it to me, please.
Please. I want to know what icing tastes like.
Icing?
Because Mystic Arcanum level 11. Mystic Arcanum functions and progresses the same way as it did for the 2014 Warlock with one extra benefit. Whenever you gain a Warlock level beyond 11, you may replace one of your Arcanum spells with another of the same level. This was a choice under the optional feature Eldritch Versatility in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which is now part of the base Warlock class.
Yippee.
Epic boon. So the epic boon that they chose for Warlock is increase 1 ability score up to 1 to a maximum of 30. And whenever you or a creature within 60 feet of you succeeds or fails on a d20 test, you can roll 2d4 and add or subtract the result from the d20 roll. A d20 test is any d20 roll, basically.
Yeah.
Once you use this feat, you can't use it again until you complete a short rest, a long rest, or roll for initiative. Or roll for initiative. That's really cool. Yeah, that's a cool ability. I like it.
Yeah.
I really like this. This is a huge upgrade. The biggest complaint I have is that the subclass is at level 3. Like, everybody's just going to be starting their games at level 3 now because most people want to have their subclass. That just sucks because I really like level 1 and 2 and 3. It's like my whole thing. I think they're important levels, and I think that having like getting that flavor kind of pick at level 1 is important, and having that taken away kind of sucks, but I do like a lot of the changes here. I think it's cool. I would play with this new Warlock. It's just strictly better. So, yeah, good stuff. All right. It's time for Sorcerer. I don't know anything about Sorcerer. I know nothing about what they've done. Okay. Do you?
Nope.
Well, let's find out. First of all, I love this art.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is very Sorcerer. I love this. Kind of giving Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
It is.
Spellcasting, level 1. The Sorcerer spellcasting feature grants you more spells and flexibility, and has seen some slight tweaks to nomenclature. Nomenclature. I don't know what this word means. Wow, Opera is so nice. I can just push the search button. The devising or choosing of names for things, especially in science or the disciplines. God, okay.
A term being
Damon Cook out here.
Damon, he's cooking.
Damon is cooking on his big words.
Yeah, but we learned something.
Yeah, we sure did. First, everybody prepares spells now. I think this is a good change. But this change is a stylistic one for the Sorcerer. You still edit your spell list when you level up and can only change 1 spell on your list at a time. The most significant change to spellcasting for sorcerers in the 2024 Player's Handbook is they can prepare more spells than their 2014 counterparts could learn. In fact, once they reach level 3, sorcerers now prepare just as many spells as the Druid, Bard, Cleric, and Wizard.
Okay.
The Wizard, as Mistra's favorite...
All my homies hate Mistra. I'm gonna go kill her with hammers. Don't put that in.
If me and my friends saw Mistra, we would beat her with hammers.
Anyway.
So I'm not understanding.
You get more spells. But you can still only change 1 at a time
when you level. But you're getting more?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
which is one of my major complaints when I played Sorcerer for, like, what, say 15 levels? Is that I had very little spells, and it bothered me. So you let me swap spells out on a long rest, which was beautiful. Fixed the class for me.
And it looks like they've kind of done that here because you can prepare spells now. It's just that you can only... You can still edit your spell list when you level up and change only 1 spell at a time.
It should be like a long rest.
Personally, I think if a player in my game was like, can I just swap out both of these? I don't like them. I'd be like, yes.
I feel like that's just like the nature of a sorcerer. You should be able to change your spells out more than anybody else. Especially
because you're not getting a spell book and you're not getting to add more into your thing. Lastly, sorcerers can now change 1 cantrip when you level up. This is in addition to swapping 1 spell from your prepared spell list. So you can switch a cantrip and you can switch another spell. That's pretty good. Innate sorcery level 1. Magic is in your blood and some of your enemies... What?
Sorry, I read it wrong. Magic is in your blood and some of your enemies.
Some of your enemies are in your blood?
Yeah, they're microscopic.
Get them out. It's Frenchie.
He's in my ass.
He's trying to get in my ass. Magic is in your blood and some of your enemies may have to learn the hard way. Whoa. They're going to get in my blood.
This is a threat.
With innate sorcery, you can use your bonus action to surge in magical power for 1 minute. During that time, your spell save DC for sorcery spells increases by 1 and you have advantage on attack rolls for sorcerer spells. You can use this feature twice per long rest. That's so cool.
That's very cool.
That's so cool. That's a level 1 ability?
Yeah.
Watsy, I know you know how to do good game design. I know you know how to do it. You constantly keep proving to me you know how to do it. You can make cool abilities for classes that need it. Why did you do this to the Ranger? Why did you do it? Seriously, Jeremy Crawford hates Rangers. I think it was like an algorithm thing. They were like, 5e only succeeded so well because Ranger was so terrible. So we have to do it again to recreate the success. Metamagic, level 2. Metamagic, the Sorcerer's trademark feature has seen some upgrades. You now get this feature at level 2 instead of level 3. Because you're not getting your subclass. And you learn 2 additional metamagic options at level 10 and 17 instead of 1. You can also change 1 metamagic option when you level up. Additionally, the 2 optional metamagic options introduced in Tachas have now been incorporated into the core class. 6 of the 10 metamagic options were tweaked. If you don't see a metamagic option here on the list below, it remains unchanged. All right, good. Careful spell now protects your allies from taking half damage on a successful save. Next time your barbarian is surrounded, throw a fireball at their feet without fear of harming your friend.
Okay.
Cool.
Sculpt spell?
Yeah, but isn't that not what it was before? Oh, they would just take half damage.
Yeah.
So they now take no damage. Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, when we were playing it, you would let me use an additional sorcery point to have it do no damage.
See? I just...
But now you can just do it.
So
you were wrong to make me use that point.
Extended spell. You now also have advantage on saving throws made to maintain concentration on spells affected by this metamagic. Love that. Heightened spell costs 2 sorcery points instead of 3. Okay. Now also affects all subsequent saves a target makes against the heightened spell. Hello, my old friends, hold person and slow. Subsequent saves. I see, because it's heightened.
Yeah. So
I see.
As they continue to make the save.
I understand. That makes sense. Seeking spell costs 1 sorcery point instead of 2. You can still use this metamagic option even if you were using another one on the same spell. That's cool. Subtle spell now allows you to ignore material components as well, as long as the material components do not have cost specification and are not consumed by the spell. That's very cool. Twin spell. This metamagic option has been reconfigured. Now twin spell applies to spells that can be upcast to target an additional creature, such as banishment, increasing the spell's effective level by 1. It also only costs 1 sorcery point. So for example, if you're level 7, you can't yet cast banishment at the 5th level slot necessary to target another creature, but you can cast it at 4th level and spend 1 sorcery point to twin it.
So with original twin spell, it could only be spells that didn't affect more than 1 creature. Now it's saying if it's a spell that you can upcast to target an additional creature, that's fine. So banishment, you can upcast it, and instead of doing 1 person, it can do 2. So you still can't fireball twin, because that's not an upcast.
Got it.
But banishment, you could upcast. Or like charm person, you could upcast. If you're level 7 and you can't upcast banishment using a 5th level slot, you can twin it using a 4th level and spend a sorcery point. So basically, you're upcasting for a sorcery point. Oh, that's really cool, actually. That's like a Dragonborn. Mm-hmm. Man, I love that. It's got an eyeball. Look at his... Yeah.
He does. That's so neat. The sorcerers now get their subclass at level 3 instead of level 1, just like Aberrant Mind and Clockwork Sorcery were largely unchanged from Tasha's Cauldron. We have Aberrant Mind and Clockwork Sorcery, but I guess there were only 2 in the player's handbook. But where are me wizard subclasses? SpongeBob, me boy! Where the fuck are me subclasses? Aberrant Mind and Clockwork Sorcery were largely unchanged from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Wild Magic was only slightly altered, and Draconic Sorcery was given a new breath of life. Get it? Because dragons breathe? Oh, never mind. Aberrant Mind saw some minor changes. Psionic spells can no longer be replaced with divination or enchantment spells from the sorcerer, warlock, or wizard spell list. Telepathic speech is now more resilient. It does not drop if you are incapacitated or dead. Psionic sorcery no longer affects material components that have a specified cost.
What did telepathic speech do?
You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another. As a bonus action, choose 1 creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other while the 2 of you are within a number of miles equal to your charisma modifier. To understand each other, you must speak mentally in a language the other knows. The telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcerer level. It ends early if you are incapacitated or die, or if you use it to form another connection with a different creature. So the new one, it does not drop if you become incapacitated or dead.
So can I talk to my buddy if I'm dead? Is that what that's saying?
Hey, bro, you all right?
No, I died, actually. Can you come get me?
Clockwork Sorcery. Clockwork Sorcery underwent only 2 changes from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Clockwork spells can no longer be replaced with abjuration or transmutation spells from sorcerer, warlock, or wizard spell list. I believe this is like just they're fixing things because the spell list is different now. Restore Balance is now tied to your charisma modifier instead of your proficiency bonus. Draconic Sorcery. The Iconic Sorcerer subclass has significantly improved, granting you new spells and stronger, more dragon-like features. You gain 10 additional spells as you level up. I was like, level 3 is 10 spells, including Command, Fear, Charm Monster, and Legend Lore.
Legend Lore, my love.
Oh, Legend Lore is a cool spell. Draconic Resilience's new AC calculation includes your charisma modifier. Okay. And the new capstone feature, Dragon Companion, allows you to cast Summon Dragon, soon to be formerly known as Summon Draconic Spirit, once per day without using a spell slot, material component, or concentration. Do you know what's really funny about this Draconic Sorcery right here? Is that it proves everything that I'm saying. Taking abilities and then replacing them with spells is fine if you do it in a flavored way under like a subclass, because you're giving more to the class. You haven't changed the class fundamentally. Instead, we're going to make them stronger, more dragon-like features by giving them spells that make sense. We're not taking away meta magic and saying, oh, you can just cast new spells now. Also, we're not going to make every sorcerer summon a dragon. This Draconic Sorcerer can summon a dragon. That makes sense. Literally, the problem I have with Ranger and Paladin is summed up in this one subclass. If they would have just done that, I would have no problems. Once you know how to do this, I would like to apologize for my outburst.
It's okay.
Yeah, summon dragon. Just cast Summon Dragon. That's so cool. Wild Magic Sorcery. Wild Magic Surges now trigger on a 20 instead of a 1. Oh.
I don't like that.
Why not? It's the same chance. It's just the D20 roll is now associated with being a good thing rather than being a bad thing.
Yeah, but a lot of the wild magic like surges are bad things. Oh, I crit but now I'm a potted plant. Has been reorganized, but its effects are all familiar. The
Wild Magic Surge table itself has undergone quite the makeover, organizing similar effects into their own mini rollable tables. Don't worry, you can still be transformed into a potted plant.
See what I mean? It kind of just takes away from the success of a 20.
If you roll a 1 and it's a good thing, you're surprised. But if you roll a 20 and it's a bad thing, you're just disappointed.
Yeah.
Casting a spell after using Tides of Chaos now automatically triggers a Wild Magic Surge. Bend Luck. Oh, that's cool. That's how it should be. Good, you can automatically trigger it. I love that. Bend Luck costs 1 sorcery point instead of 2. The subclass's new capstone feature, Tamed Surges, allows you to trigger Wild Magic Surge effect of your choice once per day. You can pick one to choose.
Okay.
That's really good. So you can strategically turn it into a potted plant.
It's like that crown in Elden Ring.
Yeah. The Mimic Veil, and you just transform into a potted plant. Yeah. The invader comes in and they're just like, where are you? And you're just like,
oh. He sees me.
Sorceress Restoration, level 5. Once per day, you can regain expended sorcery points equal to half your sorcerer level rounded down on a short rest. Now, when the party warlock asks for a short rest, you'll get a little something out of it too. That's pretty funny. Consider when to use this feature and how to strategically manage your sorcery points. For example, let's say you're at level 10 and you have 8 sorcery points remaining. If your party is taking a short rest before confronting a boss, you can regain up to 5 using Sorceress Restoration. Before taking that short rest and using this feature, consider using Font of Magic to convert 3 points into a level 2 spell slot. This way, you'll still be able to face the boss with all 10 of your sorcery points, but you'll have another extra level 2 slot. That's very cool. I like that they're making it easier for like every class to restore their spell slots. It's very cool. People want to cast magic. Yes. I'm glad that they have understood that now. Sorcery Incarnate, level 7. Innate Sorcery wasn't even your final form. With Sorcery Incarnate, you can regain a use of Innate Sorcery by spending 2 sorcery points. Innate Sorcery now allows you to use up to 2 meta magic options on each spell. Fighting 2 powerful foes, cast a twin heightened hold monster to set your paladins and rogues up for critical hits. Sticking to long range, reach for a quickened and distant blindness and deafness on an enemy 60 feet away, then follow it up with a firebolt. Yeah, I like this ability, the Innate Sorcery ability, just being like, haha, I have advantage on my attack rolls now, and the wizard is just like, God damn it! I love this so much.
That's pretty good.
Epic Boon. The epic boon they chose is Boon of Dimensional Travel. Increase one ability score up by 1, and immediately after you take the attack or magic action, you can teleport up to 30 feet. That's the ranger one. It's the ranger one that they picked. So it's pretty good though.
It's the same as the ranger. It's not a unique ability.
No, because you pick the boons. There's a bunch of boons and you pick from them, and that's what you get at level 19.
Oh, so you don't have to choose this one?
No, you can pick it. This is the one that they chose. They were like, oh, you can take this one.
Oh, this one would work best. Okay.
Arcane Apotheosis. Whoa, that's a cool name. Your innate sorcery feature is taken to new heights. Well, this is the only height.
Yeah.
So
the last height.
This is
the peak.
As someone say.
Yeah.
We literally cannot go higher. When innate sorcery is active, you can use one meta magic option per turn without expending sorcery points. If you're using multiple meta magics on a turn, be sure to make the most expensive one free. This feature also grants you more strategic flexibility. For example, if you are headed into an important battle low on spell slots, you might normally hesitate to spend sorcery points to create new slots because you also want to use meta magic during the upcoming fight. But if you know that Arcane Apotheosis will allow you to use some meta magic for free, you have more freedom to, okay, you don't have to sell it. I get it. I know how it works. Yeah, that's pretty good. It does seem like they're making overall level 20 like powerful, but still like, you can still like, you're not like God, which I think is good. I really like the new Sorcerer update. Sorcerer's really good. Yeah. I'm excited to read the spells and kind of see what we got going on there. Wizard's all right. Okay. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's just not everything I really wanted. Yeah, of course, they're going to give us a Tasha's too and give us all the other subclasses, but this is better than that Ranger video. You know, I'm leaving off not in a negative place. You know, I think this was a net positive. You know, Wizard was real mid, but Warlock and Sorcerer seem really cool. So really excited about that. Thanks for being here, bud. Hey, would you like play D&D with me?
Yeah, I play with you every weekend.
Oh my God. You would?
Yeah.